Hello, Kurt Jackson, the Safe Money Man here. Hey, today I wanted to kind of do a special a special video today and analyze a question that's being asked a lot around the country today, and that is, does trading in an SUV for a gas-efficient car make economic sense? I got this from a colleague named Rocky DeFrancesco, and I thought it was really worthy to share with you. And no matter what your politics are, it seems clear here that there isn't any short-term energy policy when it comes to dealing with the prices of oil. And in fact, recently President Obama made a speech about gas prices, and he was really basically making light of higher gas prices, and his focus was not an uncommon one that focused on people driving bigger vehicles that don't get as great a gas mileage, and he basically didn't have any sympathy for those who drive them. And his idea to solve the problem was for those that are driving SUVs was to get rid of them and buy fuel-efficient cars like the Volt. Look, I'm not against finding ways to be self-sufficient in our need for power, but is trading in an SUV for a Volt really an economically viable solution for Americans? And as you've come to know, I'm a numbers type guy, so I really enjoyed Rocky's ability to dial down on the numbers in this particular scenario. So let's see if we can answer the question, does it make financial sense to get rid of a less efficient SUV and buy a new, more gas-efficient car? We're going to look at the math using a $42,000 Chevy Volt. We're going to assume no financing costs and that the car payments are amortized over 5 years, so the annual payment would be $8,400. Okay? The driver puts an average 15,000 miles on a car, so for this analysis, we're going to give a numbers assuming gas is $4, $5, and $6 a gallon. The Volt averages 35 city and 40 on the highway, and that's according to the Kelley Blue Book. So we're going to assume it gets 37.5 miles per gallon for this analysis. We'll compare the Volt to the most popular SUV, which is the Ford Explorer. We're going to assume the example driver has a 2005 Ford Explorer with no payments, and it averages 15 miles to the gallon. So if we did that, the average cost of gas each year and the annual savings using the Volt, for the Explorer at $4 a gallon, buys $1,000 gas. For a cost of $4,000, the Chevy Volt would buy 400 gallons at a cost of $1,600. So an annual savings is $2,400. The annual savings at $5 a gallon is $3,000, and the annual savings at $6 a gallon is $3,600. Now, does that sound like a lot of savings to you? Not to mention that the SUV is much larger and more useful and even a safer vehicle. The Kelley Blue Book trade-in value for a 2005 Explorer in good condition with average miles is $6,500. Therefore, the trade-in amount of $6,500 is applied, so the out-of-pocket cost every year to pay for the Volt would be $7,100 each for 5 years. Okay, so that's after a trade-in. Let's consider the math following the 5 years after buying the Volt. Because the comparison is to keep the used Explorer, let's assume an additional $1,500 a year to fix it up. Cost to keep it in good working condition. All right, that's only fair. Without factoring in the savings on fuel, we'll first do it. It takes 5 years to pay off the debt on the Volt. The additional costs to this buyer that they'd have to pay each year because of the decision to buy the Volt would be $7,100 minus $1,500, or $5,600 a year. If we now factor in the fuel savings by buying a more fuel-efficient car, the net loss when buying the Volt at $4 a gallon is $3,200 a year, or $16,000 over 5 years. At $5 a gallon, it's $2,600 a year, or $13,000 over 5 years. At $6 a gallon, it's $2,000 a year, or $10,000 over 5 years. Now, we're not finished here, so we've got a tax credit on the Volt, the home charging station that you're going to need, and then you're also going to have an annual electric bill. There's a one-time tax credit of $7,500, which we got to factor that into the savings. There's also need to factor in the cost to install a charging station at your home, which is about $2,000 with the cords. The annual electric bill to recharge the car is $450. When you factor in the credit and the additional expenses, you need to subtract $3,250 from those totals. All right. So if you're looking to have the maximum amount of money in your pockets over the next 5 years, it certainly wouldn't be to do as the president suggests and buy a new Chevy Volt. Also, to be fair, the 2005 Explorer is probably going to need to be replaced, even though we've budgeted money to keep it in good working condition. The fuel-efficient car will also be older, but let's assume you could keep the gas-efficient car for another 5 years and that you'd have to buy another SUV to replace the 2005. So even if gas goes to $6 a gallon, you really would have saved enough from 2011 to 2016 to buy a 2011 used Explorer with the savings. So that means you can keep your big gas hog and drive a safer car and still save money. See, my job as an advisor is not to look out for the good of the country, for the good of the world. We do that when we vote for and elect officials, right? Well, my job as an advisor is to give the best advice possible to my clients. In this case, we'd tell you to keep the gas hog, enjoy life, and still save more money than if you'd bought the car that the president and the other green crusaders are trying to guilt you into buying. If you'd like more information on this or have any questions, please call me, Kurt Jackson, at 816-582-5532, or email Kurt, K-U-R-T, at kjfinancialonline.com. I'd be happy to discuss this with you in more detail and even run the numbers on your particular situation. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.